you're in a small town, but you came from a small town, but this is an important town. Zug is quite internationally known, but the town that you're coming from is known for something else.
Yes, it was known for Pablo Picasso. Came there in 1904 and showed the world Cubism. Then he came there earlier with a young kid. I got into a row with this guy because he reneged on his deal. He eventually became the mayor. So I had business at the mayor's office one year during the fiestas, and they asked me to come into the office. We got something to say. This was the mayor and the city cabinet, and he said, myself and the city cabinet have determined that we should give you the Adopted Son Award, the Adopted Son of the Village Award. I was, my God, I was in pig heaven after that. I mean, Picasso was there before me, so there's three of us. There's Picasso, myself, and my wife.
In an interview you said that these things don't come quickly, so this is a long process to get to these images.
It doesn't come quickly. I mean, I start with the face first, because that's the most critical part of the piece. If that doesn't work, nothing works. So I just got that spending the summer in Spain doing 3 paintings, 2 of them, but it also means that there were 3 turkeys. It's the last series, and it's.
So you're a good artist by eliminating what you think is not good? That's the most difficult, no?
I don't know how good I am, but I mean, I sometimes get a good one.
Hopefully reveal a few more secrets here tonight. So in terms of the women that you've been portraying, is there a particular reason which ones you choose?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for a beautiful face, and I step on a lot of female toes, I guess, but they haven't come after me yet.
Well, the thing that I am not always seeing first with some of your work is the face. I think there's a great body attached to it as well.
That's right, the body comes from somewhere else, though.
Which is an amazing thing, that you actually do the kind of juxtapositioning of faces and bodies and you mix them together.
That's right, and there was a writer in Germany several years ago who called me the Frankenstein of modern art.
What is interesting is the history of your colleagues in pop art and the fact that you, of course, were in California, whereas they were in New York mainly.
That's true. Back in 1961, there was a show at the Whitney Museum, the Guggenheim, of Six More, it was called.
Six More. Nice
yeah,
title.
The show was called Six More. It was Ed Ruscha, myself, Billy Al Bingston, Joe Good. And there were a couple of other guys, but that's who they were.
I mean, you're in very good company. I remember that Cy Twombly had the same problem, that he also was recognized in Europe first before he was recognized in America. It's an interesting phenomena how that comes, but I think now, obviously, your work is much more at home in America than it was in the previous years.
My reputation grows in conjunction with other pop artists who are dying off on me. Every time one dies, another one I pop up a little higher. I mean, I loved Roy and I loved Tom Wesselman. I mean, they were really dear friends of mine. I used to live with Roy in New York back when I was hanging out in New York, and with Tom Wesselman the same way. Alan Jones, an English painter, so-called pop artist. He's had a show with in New York. And we would commiserate about life and death and why the company doesn't like us, why they don't like us. It's because of the nudity, I mean.
No, but I think they were also very competitive. I remember stories with Robert Indiana telling me how competitive Jasper Jones were and the others. Obviously, when you all started, there was not such a big art market as it is now.
Yeah, that's true.
What is when you were the happiest in your work?
That's a good question.
It's not the right thing to say, I'm sure, but it was the day that my work was featured in Time magazine. I realized then that I had it. I mean, I made it. Everybody who doesn't like my works, I show them, go look at this. I was 20.
What year was that? What?
1964.
So are the paintings from '64 particularly good, do you think, or just they were discovered during that time and they're important to you for that reason?
I don't know that they were discovered during that time. A lot of people were friends of mine, especially, but the reason for that is because I'm not sure for the reason. I'm not sure whether the reason.
I'm just trying to find out from you which one I should spend the rest of my life accumulating the money to buy and get your tip on it.
Yeah.
What would you buy if you were going to buy your paintings?
I was going to buy. That's a very good question.
Let's say you couldn't get these paintings back unless you bought them. Which one
question.
would you feel it would be a buy?
It would. Yeah. You know, I grew up disliking Picasso, but during his last years, he produced these paintings and that were hanging in the Albertina Museum. 150 big giant paintings that he did 3 or 4 a day, and they were incredibly beautiful things. And so I readjusted my passion for Picasso.
One last question. I mean, you mentioned about the person that was very important in your early career was Wayne Thiebaud. Tell us a little bit about how that changed you from expressionism to figurative.
He was teaching at Sacramento Junior College at the time, and he came to my high school where I was a senior graduating that year, and he came and spoke to the senior class about jobs in art. And he got up on the stage and he had on this purple leather corduroy jacket and this dark green pants. This guy has to go see
Already a winner.
Oh, God. And he was saying things that I couldn't believe. I mean, how articulate and how he enunciated every little nuance that was going on in his head. He was incredible. And we became friends after that. He was the director of the California State Fair when it was on, and we demonstrate. We would receive all the work that was coming in from artists around the state, and open the crates, put all the artwork out on the floor, have the judges come by, select all the works, put them back in the crates that didn't get in. We did that during the fair. We demonstrated silkscreen printing in a booth. And
at a county fair.
At a state fair.
State fair.
And we kept buying all this material was on the state budget because we were using so much paper and stuff. And Wayne got a little bit pissed off because the director came over and he read us the riot act for using all that money on the prints. But people would come over and we had a drawer where it was called prints of $1 each. And there were silkscreen prints that had flaws. And so we just, they would come over and buy them. Why not?
Well, we all share the love for beauty, so thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you for asking.